Welcome to the BobKast here at the Kokomo Post Sports. I'm your host, Jay Stevens. And unfortunately, the BobKats are coming off a weekend where they lost both of their games, looking to get back on the winning side of things this week. Their final home game in the regular season is this Friday. Then they have another game in the final regular season game this Sunday. To my right, like always, is the head coach of the BobKast, Chandler Levingston Simon, and I know that he is looking forward to getting the team back on the winning side. Chandler, thank you for coming back on the show.
Appreciate you guys having me.
And to his right, it's the first time this young man's been on the show. It is Max Joseph. He's a guard on the BobKats, and he's also from Canada. How have you enjoyed your time in the States?
It's pretty cool. I like it. It's not my first time out here, but I like it out here.
You're correct. It's not your first time because we talked earlier, and you and Chandler played at Valparaiso together. When was your first time coming to the States, though?
So I was actually going into Valpo in 2014.
Okay.
So yeah, that was my first time.
Why'd you choose Valpo?
I was playing AAU and they were recruiting me for like 2 years, and then I just felt comfortable like going there. Yeah.
What was it like playing with Chandler?
Chandler, I mean he's funny. He's funny, you know. He's a funny guy.
Just said anything basketball related and just straight to personality. Okay.
No, because the thing is that's what stands out, man.
Oh man,
that's what stands out. His personality for sure. You know, he's gonna have a headband. You know.
Did he have braids back then?
Yeah. He had a fro.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, I had everything.
Yeah, he
Hold on. So you had the headband, you had the fro.
So the headband with the fro.
The headband was no matter what. There was a headband no matter what.
Yeah.
But I had a high top. I think when I got there.
Bruh.
Well, I should tell you, it was the Swaggy P first, and then like the barber when I got there kind of messed it up in the back, and then it became a high top. First of all, I looked like Cliff Jr. And yeah, my sisters think it's hilarious.
Yeah, you do.
I need a side-by-side pic of that. I would love it.
Oh, I'll show it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll send it to you. But yeah, so that, and then I did. I had a fro for a while. Actually, no, I take that back. I had the Jadena Classic Man. It was like
sweet. Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah. Had that for a little bit. There was a fro for a period of time. Then it turned to braids. Then it was just the braids on top. And yeah, I kept that for a while.
Wait, so braids on top, fade on the side?
Yeah. And then I cut it all off at one point too. So yeah, it was a couple different things.
You know, that braids up top, fade on the side, when that first got popular, I'm thinking in my head, why? Like, why would you mix the two? If you want a fade, have a fade. If you want braids, just do braids. It seemed like it just didn't compute in my head right away. But the more I see it, the more I like it. But right away, I was not a fan of that.
Oh, I mean, I had it before it was hot in the streets, by the way. We'll just make sure that's stated. I had it before it was hot in the streets.
All right, Social Boy.
Hey, I did it first. They stole my whole flow.
Oh, man. What's basketball like when you compare Canadian basketball to American basketball?
I mean, I think it's tough to like answer that because like I just feel like at the end of the day, it's like who's trying to compete. You know, so it's like like you could be like in certain areas where it's like people are just out there playing, in certain areas where it's like, you know, it's really that's the life, you know. Like people are out there hooping every day. So I think it's the same here. Well, here it's more of in the culture.
Okay.
Like that's what I would say. Like you guys have like ESPN. Like,
yeah.
You know, it's like bigger. Like, but in terms of like playing, like you could find people all day on the court. You know, so it's like I think it's hard to explain, but it's really about like your heart and how you know if you're trying to hoop or not.
So you mentioned ESPN here, and I was recently listening to a show, maybe a podcast. And they talked about up in Canada, I think it's TSN.
TSN.
It's the main sports channel.
TSN, yeah.
But then there's another, like a lesser, like it's not as popular. He said there's like two big sports channels in Canada.
I'm not sure about the second one.
Okay.
But yeah, TSN is the main one. But they show a lot of hockey in there, you know. So it's growing up. Now we show a lot more basketball, but
Raptors.
Yeah, Raptors. You know.
That's it.
No, that's not it.
Man,
bro, I'm saying now, like it grew to like now, like you could see a little bit more, but like, yeah, it was Raptors only.
Because I must call even when like 2 years ago when I was up there, I saw nothing but Raptors.
Nothing but Raptors. But did you have could you see like the games on there?
Just the Raptors games.
That's what I'm saying.
I couldn't watch anything else.
Nah, but now it's not like that. Now you could see like other games.
Okay, fair enough. Well, shout out Canada for getting better at that.
Yeah, for sure.
You play hockey?
Never. Oh, nah. It's just like you have a stick and you trying to play, but it's not. I never like played on a team.
No.
Nah.
Man, because so it's like when I think about 3 countries, Mexico is soccer. America is mainly basketball, but you get some football there as well. But then everything, I think Canada, I think hockey.
You know what? Because like hockey is expensive.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, so it's not everybody that gets to play it. If I have like competitive, you have like balls, you have like sticks, and you know, like you could play hockey, but not like on a team. So.
Chandler, when you were up in Canada playing basketball, I believe you played there. How would you compare when you were playing the basketball to what you see right now in the TBL?
Real similar.
Similar.
It was basically BSL. Like I was up there.
Okay.
So it's all the same. Yeah. It's all the whole team was Americans.
The whole team.
Basically, we had 2 guys from up there. Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I think it was it. Like 2 guys from up there.
I think I was told in some leagues, and apparently it's not the BSL, but I think in some leagues they cap you on how many Americans you can have on an international team. That's nice that for you that you're not going into a team where you're having to learn an entire new culture and potentially language and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's where that's actually where me and Corey met, Corey Boyd.
Okay.
Couple other guys that have been in TBL and are in TBL now. I'm trying to think who else. There's been a lot. Mostly, there's a lot of Americans really up there.
Yeah.
So you'd be surprised. It's a lot of that, but also same too. There's a lot of Canadians too, and guys from up that way. The other guy, he was from Toronto.
Okay.
One guy from Toronto and one guy was from St. John's, which was the town I was in.
Okay. What food? And I know both of y'all were up there for a little bit, so I'm just curious to hear what country has better food. And I don't care who goes into this one.
Man, I don't know.
Their food is healthier.
Okay.
I'll say that. And I can sit there and say that as somebody that has seen a few Canadians in terms of like.
So what would you categorize? Like,
I don't know.
As
Even
Canadian food.
I don't know. Even your McDonald's is healthier.
You think so?
100%.
Dude, our McDonald's here is trash.
Yeah, but I think it's the same McDonald's. Oh, it's not the same taste.
That's what I'm saying. Like because it's a little healthier in the different ingredients. Because there's stuff that your country won't allow in your food that we allow here.
Okay, maybe.
Because that's why you and Tavon, when you guys came in, y'all was just freak athletes. That and I some genetics, but something along those lines. But
yeah, I don't know. For the McDonald's though, I don't know for the McDonald's, but me personally, like I eat food that's from Haiti. So it's like I don't know really. I couldn't really know exactly what's Canadian food other than like poutine. You know what poutine is? You heard of that?
I don't.
You ever had that? Yeah, you had.
I had with you.
You had that. Yeah. So that's like pretty much what I eat Haitian food.
Okay.
like the poutine's it's like gravy fries.
Oh, okay.
It's like cheese and gravy. It's like a cheese's gravy on the fries, and
Okay.
I think they throw other stuff in there.
And
cool.
it's like a common thing to eat?
Ish. Fuck, it depends on where you're at.
It's like loaded fries. You'd say like if you want loaded fries, you could get that.
Okay.
I'd assume it's like Chicago and pizza. Like you kind of like
Is Chicago pizza or
pizza,
Yeah.
hot dogs, and popcorn. Those are more or less the 3 things.
I heard
but-
New York had it.
I would have reined it in. Reined it in.
No.
He's never going to say that that's
Definitely
better than that New York has better in that category than Chicago.
You've been to Chicago enough, and you've had the pizza enough, so don't do that.
He's
Don't do
A
that.
lot too. I'm just saying.
Don't do that.
No. All right. So is Chicago pizza
Yeah.
number 1?
You had both.
I don't remember.
Okay.
It's been a minute. I had the Chicago pizza.
I have my people bring one out for her.
I bet.
Let's go back to last weekend. Unfortunately, Chandler, you're here every week. We talk about wins, talk about losses. Unfortunately, this is one of the rare times we're talking about 2 losses in one weekend on back-to-back games. A loss on Friday to Cincinnati, 102-99. It was a close game. They ended up pulling away late in that one. Then at Medora later that weekend, lost big. I'm not going to say the score. It was just big. It was a blowout. What's the team's morale like right now?
I mean, we're good as a unit. Okay. Had a conversation as a group and kind of decided on some adjustments and different things like that. So everybody's pretty good around. Everybody seems to be on the same page at this point.
Max, what was your takeaway as a player on the team that played in those games? How tough is it to lose back-to-back games like that?
It's pretty tough because it's important to feed off of the energy of winning, and when you keep losing, I mean, at the same time it helps us bring us together.
Yeah,
and I think we're at a time where it could just get us stronger also. So not just to take all the negative energy off of losing, but really saying there's some positive we can take and just go forward with that.
At the end of one of those games, and I mentioned this to you before we started, there was a player, I don't know the number, don't know the name, don't really care. There was a player on Cincinnati that decided to go out at center court on the K and start dancing. I saw Big Fudge walk over, kind of confronted him, not really trying to do it in a negative way or trying to feed into that negative energy, but was basically like, hey man, just go. This ain't that. What were your thoughts when you saw that? I
mean, it threw me off a little bit, partially because us in Cincinnati have had such a great relationship this season. This is the first year we've really played them.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand it to some degree. We won in the preseason, then 2 games back-to-back, kind of on bigger margins. We set the season record on them. I believe we got close. Second time we got close to doing it again. But it kind of just is what it is. I think he got carried away. Yeah, but it happens.
I can't say it was out of character because I don't know the guy that did it. I don't know him personally.
I mean, so afterward he came and he literally just talked to me. He was real casual about it. And he's like, y'all did it to us, but no one really, because the thing is, so we break down in the center court after every game.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where we're at, we break down center court after the game. So
that's not the same thing.
Trust me. Yeah. But sometimes when you lose, that gives out the idea of that. Oh, you guys did all, we didn't, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not about to stress over one way or the other. He's still a solid guy. I mean, I know him. He's still a solid guy. It's just, he got a little carried away.
Max, I'll say that I was very happy and pleased with the response I saw from the players, that nobody really got into it in a physical altercation in that moment. You as a player, when you see stuff like that happen after you go through a game and there's a 3-point loss at the end and the guy on the other team goes out there, it could be at center court, could be right in front of your bench, it could just be anywhere, it doesn't matter, but he kind of showboats in that way. How do you respond to that and make sure you keep your cool?
I mean, I understand, like Chandler said, we won the previous games, so I understand he was excited to get this win. Me, when I see that, I don't really like that.
Yeah.
But my response is really to next time we see each other, we want to win for sure.
Yeah. That's the thing too. If you don't want to see it, don't lose.
Right.
Simple as that.
Is there a chance you guys will play them in the play-in?
Possibly. Yeah, if we go to we play them on Sunday coming up at Cincinnati, and I think we would get them at home on Tuesday if we get to the 3rd seed.
Okay.
So
I sure hope that happens.
So I mean, but the thing about so with that is we get to the third, so it's really just we have to win both of these games, and Pontiac would have to lose one of the games that they have this weekend.
Okay.
So if that happens, then we move up to 3. If not, we stay at 4.
And if you're at 4, when would that game be in the play-in?
Tuesday.
So it's no matter what, it's on Tuesday.
Tuesday. It's a matter of just who we play.
Okay.
So it'd be Derby City or Cincinnati, and then if we play Derby City, we would play. I believe we would play St. Louis. But if we play Cincinnati, we got Medora again.
It's interesting how the schedule works out because I don't know if the schedule makers did this on purpose or even thought that this might be the outcome. But you play Derby City and Cincinnati, the final 2 games of the regular season, and you're going to play one of those teams in the play-in. That's not only going to ramp up the intensity of the games this week, but give you a good look, Chandler, at what you're going to see from one of those teams on the Tuesday after Memorial Day.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely get a look at it, and it's one of those things that I don't think there's ever a case of that when it comes to schedule. There's a lot of coincidence, things like that. Especially, too, because you play a lot of the same teams throughout the season, so you're going to have some sense of familiarity and overlap and things like that. Like what last year, I'm trying to think of who we played last year in the first round. But we played somebody in the first, or it was Jamestown.
Okay.
And we played Jamestown a good amount. We knew exactly what to expect. Same thing with a year before that, we had Lebanon, and we had to play Lebanon a few times. We also, I tell you about, we had to play Owensboro before that. And Owensboro, there was a whole bunch of games that went back and forth, and we knew them pretty well. Same thing with Lebanon when we had to play Lebanon right after that. So it's always overlap no matter what.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. That game this coming Friday, final regular season home game, is, I think it's at Kokomo High School?
Yes.
Okay, it's at Kokomo High School. I believe same tip-off time against Derby City. I have not been out to see one of the games, and you guys have played Derby City, so I'm personally looking forward.
We haven't played Derby City yet.
Oh, not at all? Oh. Oh, okay, so that's why I haven't seen them play yet.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought that you guys played them earlier in the year here.
No, this is the first time we're playing them.
Okay.
We've seen very minimal of them.
What kind of team are they?
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's depends on who's playing. To be honest with you,
Okay.
They've had some personnel changes and things like that. So I have to just continue to look at it and look further into it because they're setting their final roster tonight. So more or less, I don't fully know who's even playing and who's not and all that until tonight.
That sounds like a nightmare for the coach. Not you, I know yes for you, but also for the coach of that team. I understand it's a few days before that game, but if I'm a coach and it's Monday, Tuesday evening, I'm sending in the final roster, I may be a little nervous, but...
You kind of know. I mean, more times than not, you kind of have, like, after things happen every weekend, you get a sense of where you're going to change things and where you're not and all that stuff. I mean, they kind of had a similar ride that we have where they started off kind of hotter and then cooled off a little bit, whether due to injuries or players leaving or just different things like that. I don't really know what all has been happening down there, but I just know, they've had a couple roster shifts.
You looking forward to this game this weekend?
Of course.
Yeah. The gym that the team is playing in, I actually got to go there for the first time, I think a couple weeks ago. Gabe and I got to go to a boys volleyball game at Kokomo High School. I believe it seats 1,800 people versus the 5,000 that the gym currently seats that you guys are used to playing in. But, man, it's going to be loud. It's going to be crazy. And I think for Derby City, you already talked about how Kokomo's gyms are already the loudest in the TBL.
Yeah.
It's going to make y'all amped up and ready to go, possibly even more, because it's more of a homey feel. Someone said more intimate feel. I heard someone describe it that way. So, Max, I'm looking forward to seeing y'all this week. What are you looking forward to? What's in your mind about playing this team for the first time on Friday?
Just compete for real. Every time I go towards a game, that's what I want to do. Like, we're trying to win. Especially like that now. Right now, the players are coming up. We're trying to execute, trying to see where we at, and yeah.
When it comes to your role as you're coming off of the bench, some guys find it difficult to do that because they prefer to get into the flow of the game, be a starter. And it's also a mental thing. But like, man, I've been starting my whole life. I want to keep on starting. And some guys, they're cool realizing their role, which is a backup. And also they understand their role, they accept it, and they find ways to impact the game in that way. Was it difficult for you from when you went from being a starter at one point of your career to being, maybe not this year being your first time coming off the bench, but when you started that path to be coming off the bench versus starting, was that a hard transition to make?
It's always a hard transition to make because it's not something where you have to work on physically. It's something you have to work on mentally.
Yeah.
So it's like some of the things, there's some changes you might like don't understand right away, or you have to figure out, and that part is hard. But like once you figure it out and once you understand, I think as long as you out there hooping, you doing what you do as a player, and you try to be a star in that role, like I think that's where like you could be like more comfortable with what's going on.
Who is the toughest? What's the toughest battle you've had in practice with a BobKats teammate? Maybe via one-on-one or someone that's guarding you and they're talking trash and slowing you down.
It's so hard. Everybody competes, and if you guys see the practices we have, everybody competes. So it's like every day, anybody, you have to battle anytime, anybody.
Chandler, I was waiting for him to call somebody up, like, yeah, he's tough, but I got him here, I got him there. But he kind of gave that answer where it's like everybody, well respecting everybody, but I'm like, man, let me know.
Yeah, you trying to make me say something about somebody specifically?
No, I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you.
No, everybody, anybody that's there's a lot of trash talking in practice, so I can't really call out somebody else specifically. I think everybody, wants to, we're competing hard every practice.
What's he like in practice?
Same way he's in the game.
Same way.
Yeah.
Which is good. I know we had a former player on the show at one point, and they were like, yeah, he did this at one point, did that. I was like, oh. I was kind of surprised that like you said, I think it was Brandon had like 30 points at one point in practice, and then he's like, oh, I had this here in preseason, I had this, and I'm like, what? And I see him do it in the game, but when I see it happen in practice and in the frequency that was happening, I'm like, oh, that kind of opens my eyes. Yeah. Do you see yourself more as a defensive player or an offensive player?
It depends on like where I'm at, what team I'm in. I think I'm an elite defender.
Okay.
I think I take pride in playing defense, but if I have an offensive role and people want me to play more offense, I'm comfortable in that too.
Yeah, I like that elite defense part because I don't think enough guys take pride in playing defense. There's a lot of guys that can play defense and score, and they would rather score than play that defense, but taking pride in that defensive role, it's helpful, especially this point of the year where we saw Friday's game against Cincinnati. I'm sitting there with my wife, and I'm like, the refs are calling this like a playoff game. They were not calling it like a regular season game. Yeah. It was a lot more physical, and the defense is way more important in those games, especially from your position, than it is in others, because refs has realized, look, these guys are not just battling in a regular season; they're battling for seeding in the playoffs. Yep. At the time, we all know that the BobKats and the Warriors, the team you played that day, are both in the play-in. So that was about seeding. Am I going to host? Am I going to be an away team? It's all about just the X's and O's, the mind games, the chess match. And I appreciate the refs for calling it more like a playoff game than a regular season game. But even in those moments, the defense is very pivotal in those games because you realize, oh, they're going to let me do a little bit more. Oh, okay, I can be a little bit more physical here, but not too far. Mm-hmm. Do you see yourself turning up the defense physically in the playoffs?
Yeah, for sure. I think people are going to go at 100% every time, so you have to be ready physically, and you have to be ready to defend.
Chandler, does it change does it frustrate you or change how you coach when you see the refs allowing more physicality at this time of the season?
I don't mind it as long as it's consistent across the board. It's more so the frustrating part for me sometimes is when they'll let things go on one end and then, oh, we'll make it up to you later. Yeah. No, don't make it up to me now. Later, make it up to me now. Make the same call you throughout the whole game. I don't need you to give me hit me on the back end. Give me the stuff right now. because you're changing the dynamic and the flow of the game, and that's just frustrating to me. But, that happens from time to time, and it just is what it is.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. It has to be, and I'm not in your shoes, but I will watch and look throughout the game to see your interactions with the refs. I don't know exactly what it said, nor do I need to know what it said when you talk to the refs, but I can only imagine when, from my standpoint, I don't know the plays. I don't know the players as well as you know them.
Yeah.
You know personally the refs. I don't know that. And I can see, well, why are they doing it this way on this end of the court? But on this end of the court, it's not that way. 5 minutes later, it's this way on this end of the court, and they could do a complete 180. It's like, that's not refereeing, officiating. Well, it is, but make it consistent. And that consistency can not only make your job harder, but the refs' inconsistency can occasionally make your job harder too, Max. How do you deal with the refs occasionally being inconsistent?
I mean, first of all, you have to be focused enough to not, let the anger take a hold of you, because this might make them call more fouls on you. So I mean, I try to talk to them sometimes.
Yeah.
What you see, And I mean, when it's too much, it's too much. I mean, sometimes you have to hold yourself to not get fined and not get a tech or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think communication with the ref, that's what I try to do. I try to talk to them.
Chandler, I remember you mentioned last week about an after party.
Yes.
After this game.
Yes.
I didn't want to get to the end of the show and forget about that.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's still going on.
It is.
Where is that going to be at?
The tracks.
Okay.
Yeah, the tracks. So that'll be on Friday after the game.
After the games.
Yeah.
Immediately after the game at the tracks. Mm-hmm. And is it until 2 in the morning? I'm throwing the time out there.
I mean, I'm assuming it's till everybody decides to leave. That's my assumption, but I could very well be wrong one way or the other. Could be till midnight. I couldn't tell you. Whenever they're ready to shut it down.
You a party guy? You party a lot?
I used to.
Used to?
Yeah. I'm more relaxed. I'll party sometimes, for sure.
I can only imagine what's going through his head right now.
I mean, yeah. Not too much.
Not too much?
Not too much.
Okay. Trying to stay chill.
Not too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
You still go out?
From time to time. I mean.
Not too much.
Exactly. I'll say that the functions and going out have changed. I'll say that. Mm-hmm. It's not so much the same, okay, we're going out to the club, we're doing X, Y, Z, and I'll go do something during the day in the city or something, or I'll go do something, a day party or something, or something like that. I be honest, being up to 3, 4 in the morning does not excite me as much anymore. So, something where I can go out there and be doing some things and hang out and stuff, and I'm still in bed by, midnight, 1 o'clock, cool, beautiful. It's a good night for me.
Yeah, it's a great night. Chandler, what's your final message to Bobcat fans before the game on Friday night?
Come out and support, as always. Come to the game. We really need you, especially, I know with the change in locations, it might be mildly inconvenient, but we still need you and we still want you there.
Max, what's your message to Bobcat fans to get them to come out to the final regular season game Friday night at Kokomo High School?
Come and, support every time we're out there. The energy is felt, so we need you over there. Come support.
I'll do it in French.
En français? OK, on peut dire en français. Venez nous supporter à chaque fois que vous venez. Votre énergie est ressentie. Et puis, c'est ça, venez go BobKats.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I was waiting. I totally forgot that he knew French. I keep saying Canada. I got Haiti written on the paper and totally forgot to bring the French out. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, that's on me, y'all. That's Max Joseph, a guard on the BobKast. This is the head coach of the BobKats, Chandler Levingston Simon. I'm your host of the BobKast, Jay Stevens. We'll see you next time.
All right.